Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. And welcome to Breakfast with the Greenes. We're your host. I'm James Greene.
And I am Cynthia Greene, and we are founders of Marriage Built to Last. Yes. And we are America's favorite couple.
So we're going to welcome you to another episode on this great August Saturday morning. You know, this month has been
Black-owned business month and Resurrect Your Romance month.
Right.
Yes.
I always mess that up. Anyway, we asked you to share this out because, like we always do, being Black-owned business month, we ask you to shout out your business. If you're a Black business owner, shout it out so that everyone who shares this out can see what business you run, you know, what business you operate, so to speak, and you know, if they have any interest in it. Because, you know, you never know. The best way to promote anything is word of mouth. If somebody has a business and somebody patronizes that business, say, wow, this is great, and they recommend it to their friends, that is a great way to promote your business, by word of mouth. I think that's one of the best ways to promote your business. So we always say to share this out, because as you post your business, as you shout out your business, and you post, say, your business's website or where they can find you at, that's how people can find you. So again, right. So again, share this out. You know, because we're going to be all through the episode. We're going to be talking about the Black businesses that you post, and we're going to be shouting them out. But it's also National Romance Month.
Resurrect your romance.
And how do you resurrect your romance? Doing some romantic things, because you know romance starts in the beginning. Say in the morning, beginning of the day, and you build it up. And when you talk about resurrection, what is that? Rekindling, doing it again, building it up.
Doing things you used to do, or
exactly.
things you don't do anymore. Yeah.
Right.
So you
rekindle, get back to the way maybe you used to do things when you were dating, that so to speak. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question, you know, as we, I guess, get started. Is it good to go on couples retreats? Is that romantic? Is that help you rekindle your romance? And if you say yes, how do you do that when, say, it's quite a few couples there? You know, I could say maybe if you have a renewing of your vows, say on the beach, if you're on a couples retreat, that is romantic. And I don't care if it could be 40 or 50 couples, renewing your vows with the one you love is romantic no matter who is around.
That's so true. And that's what we plan to do next year. We are renewing our vows. It will be 15 years. And we've always said, because we got married older.
Later in life.
Okay.
Not older.
Not older.
Later in life.
And hopefully we'll make it to 50 years of marriage on this earth. But just in case, we had said we were going to celebrate every 5 years, and we have not.
Right.
So this next year will be 15 years, and we plan to have a vow renewal ceremony, hopefully in a secluded location, like a destination wedding type of thing.
And that's funny, you know, because we always think traditions help your romance part. If you first get married and you talk about things like we did, like say going on a vacation every year during our anniversary, like we said, renewing our vows every 5 years, which we have not done. You know, when you talk about those things when you first get married, that helps to rekindle that romance. That keeps that romance going, keep that fire burning, because you know, like every 5 years, you'll be renewing your vows, which is romantic. You know, every year you may be going on a trip for your anniversary, and that's romantic because maybe you're looking forward to it. But my question is still, if you're on a trip with other couples or a bunch of couples, you know, on a couples retreat, so to speak, how do you rekindle that romance? Do you go away from the other couples and spend time alone And that's how you do it. Or can you do it with other couples?
So let's just share with you while we're talking about this topic, okay? So we just came back from a couples trip. It was a 7-day, 8-night trip. And we were with 3 other couples, so it was 8 of us.
Right, a total of 4 couples.
Yes, a total of 4 couples, right? And so before we left, we made all kinds of plans. We had meetings to talk about what we would do. We talked about our menu. We talked about grocery shopping, excursions, all types of things. And we learned a lot about each other before the trip, but we learned even more after the trip. And so I think that if you are going on a couples getaway, a couples trip, a couples retreat, I think it's important that you know something about the group that you're going with.
Right. And that's it. You know, have maybe regular meetings to talk about those things. And when you talk about the romance part, did we rekindle our romance? I say yes. Because for me, I always feel that our romance is rekindled when we spend time together. It doesn't matter who's around. You know, we're spending time together. Like we went to the beach with all the other couples, but in the water, it was just, well, even though they were around, I felt it was just Cynthia and I. You know, and that
every
was
couple
romantic.
was coupled up like in the water.
Right.
But we were coupled up and okay, so we're snuggled up in the water. And yeah, so we had our romance time in the water on the beach, even though we were with other couples.
Even in the pool, you know, I'm in the floaty, you get on the floaty with me, or we float each other around.
My husband made me squeeze inside the inner tube of a floaty with him, and they were cracking up. They videotaped it. Okay, I might share that on videotape, but it is hilarious.
And that's the fun part, and that's how you rekindle your romance, having fun. Because I truly believe, like we always say, you don't marry to have fun, but having fun is going to be a byproduct when you work on your marriage. If you want to rekindle your marriage, having fun is going to be a byproduct. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you know, we see a lot of couples, you know, talk about how they're not in love with their spouse anymore, how they're having so many problems, so many issues. And we all know that the root of it is it's just really communication.
I was gonna say
sometimes it's lack of communication. Right. Sometimes it's just connecting. So when I saw Resurrect Your Romance, when you resurrect your romance, you're also resurrecting your relationship. Like if the romance is gone, I'm sure a lot of other things in the relationship is gone. But a lot of couples, you know, they're just living life. They go to work, they come home, they cook, they take care of the kids. If you still have kids at home, you sit around, you watch TV together, and then you go to bed. There's no romance, there's no connection. You're just kind of living in the same house together. So how do you reconnect that? Our suggestion was that sometimes maybe you do need to go on a couples trip, because what happens, okay, here's tip number 1. We went on a couples trip. There's things that some couples do that we may not have thought to do. So we go along for the ride.
And end up having fun because we may not have thought about it. They thought about it, and we said, okay, let's do that. We didn't think about that. You end up having a great time. Right,
though. Well, my tip was that just go along with them, and you may or may not do it, but you're still with the couples and you're still having fun.
Right.
So, for instance, they all want to go parasailing. I wasn't going parasailing. James said he was going to go parasailing, but the parasailing never actually happened. But
because of bad weather.
I went along with the group, which was really good because we found out that those of us who weren't parasailing, we could still go on the boat. So guess what? I'm getting a boat ride. So you just never know. So you could rekindle your romance by doing something totally different with the couples on the couples trip that you never would have thought to do.
Right.
James has always talked about parasailing, but when we go on vacation, he's never done it. But he may have done it with this group, even though he changed his mind kind of at the last minute.
And that's because the way the weather was looking. I didn't want to take that chance.
Right,
but they ended up canceling it because of weather. But like Cynthia was saying, when you rekindle that romance, and she talked about maybe the lack of communication, what it allows you to do is recommit to each other and reconnect. You know, because when you want to rekindle your romance and you're on with other couples, you see how them couples are interacting.
That was tip number 2.
And it makes you interact. Yes. And it makes you recommit. It makes you reconnect. And that's what you do, because now all the other couples may be coupled up and you may feel, well, we may have lost that communication. But when you see the other couples coupled up, it allows you to reconnect with your spouse or your mate.
So that was tip number 2. So we noticed that a lot of the women knew exactly, like not to push their husband's button on certain things. They're like, well, I know my husband wouldn't like that.
Right.
And same thing with the husband. They was like, I'm going to do this for my wife because I know she likes it this way. Like they knew each other. They knew each other's likes and dislikes. So in observing the other couples, some of the couples said they learned how to have a better relationship watching us and watching other couples and watching each other. And that was really true. I noticed how some of the husbands, how they treated their wives, pull out their chair maybe, or like how James opens my door when we get in the car, or how a wife knows that her husband doesn't like this in their eggs, so they make theirs a special way. Like, you pay attention to someone, how they treat their spouses gently, and they pay attention, like they study they have studied their spouse, but studying how other couples interact, and it can give you some ideas on how to start paying different attention with your spouse. Like I knew there were certain things that my husband was not going to go for. Like I had to let them know, don't cook anything with pork next to my husband's food, because he was not going to eat it. Right. And if he did, he was going to get sick.
And what's the key else is that when the women are together and the men are together, if you feel you're not reconnecting with your wife or your spouse, the men talk about it and the women talk about it. So you could talk about, well, what did you do to do this? It's always good. Like we always say, iron sharpens iron. So when you're around men, when the men get together and you're around a man who really adores his wife, or their communication is great, and you say yours may not be so great, learn from that man. Learn how to communicate better. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to how maybe he treats his spouse. Listen to how maybe he talks to his spouse, and change your ways. We're changed by the renewing of our minds. It allows us to be changed. And that's something you can always do. Glean from other men, learn how they may treat their spouses, and maybe treat your spouse a little differently, so you can learn from that also.
Also, tip number 3 was learn to be a team player.
Right.
So like they want to play board games, James does not like playing board games. Like he is not at-home game person at all. So when they all were talking about playing games, like, nah, I'm not gonna play. But once everybody started sitting around the table, he came over and they were like, what are you doing? He said, I guess I'll play. And they were like, why? And I said, because my husband is a team player, right?
But then the key is that once I start playing, then it's about winning.
Oh my God, everybody was so competitive.
That's because
people say, wait. Make sure you know that sometimes it's just about the fun. No. I disagree. This is James's point of view. For everyone out there, I disagree, because it's not just about having fun. To me, it's about winning, because winning is fun. Oh my gosh.
That's why you play the game.
You talk about competitiveness. Oh my God.
You play to win, and winning is fun. So how do you have fun? You win. I'm not going to say you're going to win every time, because you're not. But if you try your best to win and you do win, that's having fun. Especially even if you don't win and you may have been in the lead at some point, that's having fun. Winning is fun.
Let me tell y'all something I noticed when we were playing the board games. Like, board games is an individual person thing, right? Like some of the things we did, it was like couples team building, and some of it was individual. But I know when we were playing those games, some of the spouses were trying to help their spouse win, right. And some of the spouse was like they didn't want their spouse to win, like they wanted to beat their spouse. So right?
That is a key to rekindling that romance, because now you're joining together to try to win, or you're helping each other win.
No, some games you ain't supposed to be helping each other.
But if you do it on the slide, one person will. No, listen. Just listen to what I'm saying. Just say couples do it, right? That makes the one feel like, oh, he's trying to help me. And that rekindles that romance, like he's looking out for me.
I just thought it was hilarious, you guys. So no, don't cheat in the board
I'm not
games,
saying
okay?
cheat. You're missing my point here. You're missing my point. My point is, even if you may try to do it, it lets the other person feel they're looking out for me. You know how it feels when, like he has my back. How does the woman feel when, how does the woman feel when she says, my husband has my back. No matter what it's in, he's looking out for me.
Okay.
Doesn't that make you feel
No
good?
cheating, you guys.
I'm not saying cheat.
Whatever. What James is saying is cheating, okay?
She's missing the point.
I get what he's saying, but once a couple of spouses was like not trying to let their spouse win. Like I wasn't trying to help my spouse win, and other spouses definitely weren't trying to help their spouse win. No. But I understand what he's saying. But just sitting there, that helped us to observe how each individual plays the game. Who took it really serious? Who was really competitive? And those of us who were just having fun, like me. I was just having fun. Although I was winning, I was one of the top winners, y'all. I won the board game, and then I was in the top. Well, was close to the top in the second game. Yeah, we didn't finish the second game. But anyway, you guys, it's all about fun. It's all about fun. Tip number 4. So we had this conversation like, should people be in their rooms, getting it on, doing whatever? And we're all in the same house. And I'm like, turn on your music, turn on your TV, like do something. Like I felt like nobody should be telling. Doesn't the Bible say the bedroom is undefiled? So like nobody should be telling anybody what to do in their bedroom, right? And the bedrooms are pretty spaced out far enough that you didn't have to worry about it.
If you're on a couples retreat and you're in like a hotel, everybody's in their individual room.
So
you have no problem with that.
So that was one of the interesting things. Like we rented a house, a 5-bedroom house, so everybody had their own room. So it wasn't like we were in a hotel, like James was saying, and you're down the hall from each other, or even if you room by room, and the hotel, some hotels ain't that quiet though. Their walls aren't that solidified, okay? But yeah, so tip number 5, do what you want. In your bedroom, because that is one of the key things that's going to help you resurrect your romance. And what makes that
interesting is due to the fact that if you're out, say with other couples, and you're having a great time, you're rekindling that romance. It's starting to build back up. Maybe what you feel you may have lost is coming back. Then when you get back to the room, maybe you do want to take it to the next step because you had so much time with your spouse. You're enjoying the activity that you're doing. Things are starting to reconnect. Things are starting to rekindle, and when you get back to the room, you're just feeling a certain way. Like, you know what? I'm feeling this way now. We're starting to reconnect, and when you get back to the room and it's just the two of you, maybe that thing should happen. So maybe it should happen because now it'll help you build up what you may have lost along the way somewhere.
And that's true too. And that was part of tip number 6 was make sure you're not just observing the other couples, but observing your spouse. Because sometimes when you're in a group setting with other people, your spouse's personality comes out a little bit more. Like you can really see how they're interacting with the other couples, and you kind of interact with your spouse a little differently because nobody wants to openly argue with your spouse. I was reading a friend of mine, Gail Crowder's post this morning on Twitter, and she was saying, correct your spouse in private, defend your spouse in public. Yes. And then I can't remember what the last part of it said, but I thought that first 2 statements was really, really true.
Right.
Like you should not be correcting your spouse in a public environment. Like, James, you shouldn't be eating like that. Why? Cut your meat up.
And the key is when you're in public, defend them. You don't want nobody to be attacked and you sit there and say nothing and you let other people attack them.
Let me tell you something. The men in our group were very defensive for their wives. Like they didn't want nobody like mistreating their wives or saying the wrong thing, not in the group necessarily, but even when we were out and about. Like they were protective of their wives.
And you should be.
Yes,
and that's the key. You should be protective of your spouse in public. And and if you have, say, a critical comment, not a critical, but an adjustment to maybe something that they said, you do that in private. Say, babe, when you're in private, I didn't like how this was said. You don't do it out in the open.
Exactly. And there was none of that going on our trip, thank goodness. But we did notice how protective some of the spouses were. Like the wives were protective of their husband, like how they cooked the food, how they served them.
Because wives know what their husband likes, and that's the key. Nobody knows what your spouse likes more than the spouse. You know what they like, you know what they want, you know how it's prepared, you know how everything is. So you're looking out at them saying, he likes this You know, he doesn't like a steak well done. Maybe he likes a steak medium well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or he doesn't like a steak, and you're cooking all the steaks medium well. My husband likes his well done. You know, nobody knows the husband like the spouse.
Right. And I noticed, oh, y'all, some of the things we did on our trip too, we hired a personal chef to come in and cook our meals 2 times that week. And I noticed how the wives were really telling the chef, you know, how their husbands like certain food. Because
right.
some of us are very particular about how we eat and what we eat. And you know,
and I just gonna say, and you're right, baby. So that actually also helps to rekindle that romance, because now you're looking out for your spouse on what their likes and dislikes are. Mm-hmm. Well, my spouse doesn't like doing this, or my spouse likes doing this, or my spouse doesn't eat this certain food, but he likes this certain food. You're looking out for your spouse, and your spouse's thought process is, wow, they're looking out for me. Thank you, babe, for looking out for me. I really appreciate that.
Right. You got to make sure that you're sharing this broadcast, because some couples need to learn a tip for hanging out with other couples.
And this is also Black-owned Business Month. So if you're a Black-owned business owner, put it in the feed.
Shout out your businesses, y'all.
Right. Maybe your website, maybe the link how to reach you, because this is still Black-owned Business Month, along with rekindling your romance.
Resurrect your romance.
Okay, rekindle, resurrect. Ain't that the same thing?
It's kind of the same.
Because all you're doing is building it back up from what you may have lost, or if you didn't lose it, if it's a fire, building up to a full blown out flame.
Yes. So you guys, we just want to share our trip because we had a really good time. We did a lot of different things. We had a pool. We had in our backyard private pool. Our goal, one of the goals was to go in the pool every night. So we went in the pool every night. Y'all had a different swimsuit for each day. So that was 4 days in a row. We went into the pool. Okay, whatever. I was just sharing. Okay. So we went in the pool every night. We wanted to have a chef for 2 nights and go out to dinner the other nights. Every morning, one of the ladies cooked breakfast every single morning. That was really nice. She cooked some really good breakfasts. So we ate very well.
That it was a lot of teamwork going on.
Yes.
Working together.
Oh my God.
And that's another way to
resurrect.
I was just saying rekindle. To resurrect your romance when you're doing things together for the benefit of your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Because if all the women are in there cooking or preparing whatever they're doing, you know what your spouse likes. So you're looking out for them. And the spouse ends up benefiting, you know, because you can say, well, babe, I made sure this was like this for you. Oh, babe, thank you for looking out for me.
But you know, one thing I do want to say for the couples trip is that if you have a plan and a schedule and some things that you say you're going to do on the trip, and it's based on what everybody wants to do. Yes, plans can change, schedules can change, and you may not get to some of the things, but you really do want to try to make sure that you make sure everybody gets to do some of what they want to do, or one thing that they wanted to do. You gotta make sure you're looking out for the whole of the group.
And that's why I say have regular talks or regular discussions. So you could go around the room, even if it's 20 couples. What does every couple like to do? What do you like to do? To make sure you may try to squeeze that in during some time of the trip so everybody can benefit. That's like, give an example.
Go ahead.
I was just say, if you're playing football, if you go out to play football and there's a lot of guys out there, and the guys don't come out just to run around and not catch a pass, you at least try to get every person a catch. You know, they don't come out there just for nothing. You know, so just try to do something that every couple may want to do or every person may like to do.
So I got a question for you guys. What is one of your favorite things to do when you go on vacation?
Right.
What is one of your favorite things to do?
Because we know some people like to go out and look at sights. Some people just like to relax at home in the pool. Some people may just want to lay on the beach. What do you like to do?
Right. So one that I know that when we go on vacation, James loves to go to anything that's historically just for that particular area. Something that's like really historical and that city is known for.
For example, if you go to Arizona, wouldn't you want to see the Grand Canyon?
Right.
If you go to Las Vegas.
So I know that about you. What's one of my favorite things to do when we go on vacation?
Go to the beach.
What if there's no beach?
I don't know.
I like to eat the food that is specific to that particular area. Like I'm a foodie.
Like if you go to Maine. Wouldn't you want Maine lobster?
We went to Maine and I had a Maine lobster, okay? We went to Florida. They're known for their pink shrimp. I had plenty of fresh pink shrimp. They're known for fresh fish. I had plenty of fresh fish. Oh, gosh, the seafood was so good.
Like if you go to L.A., wouldn't you want to go see at least the Hollywood sign or, whatever it is, when you go to that particular city, I like to know what that city is known for in the city. Like if we ever went to St. Louis, I'd like to see the St. Louis Arch.
Right. So what are some things that you like to do that's specific, that you know that you like to do when you go on vacation? I like to go to really good restaurants that has food that's specific to that area. Because I'll never forget when we went to Jamaica and we stayed at a resort and we kept saying, where is the curry chicken? Where is the, what's the other chicken? The jerk chicken. Like, where is the Caribbean food? The resort was catering to different nationalities from around the world. So we got a lot of that
They didn't have that authenticity of their food. So we had to go off the resort and find.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. Do you like to just relax? Because some people go on vacation to get away from the job, maybe the kids, maybe just to have some alone time and just relax. Some of them may want to do activities like jet skiing, parasailing, zip lining, whatever the case may be.
That's true.
So we always like to ask, what do you like to do when you go on vacation? What is your favorite thing to do?
Some people are super adventurous, so they like the zip lining and the parasailing and all those things that James was naming. And then some people like to
just go on the beach and lay down.
Yeah, like to go out on the beach and splash in the water or the pool
and just
outdoorsy and want to do the outdoorsy types of things like me. Like I'm the outdoors type of person. Some people they wanted a movie night. So some people are very movie buffs. They're very much into those types of things. Some people like board games. So we did the board game thing.
So you got some shout outs?
So we got to make sure that you're doing all some of the things that other people do. And it's just like in your relationship.
And that's the thing.
Oh, wait. It's just like in your relationship. There are some things that your spouse like to do that you don't necessarily like to do. But every now and then, you need to join in with their spouse
and do what they like to do
just because.
Well, I always say you have to make sacrifice because sacrifice leads to success. So sometimes you have to sacrifice on what your spouse like to do, and in turn, she'll sacrifice what you like to do. Sacrifice leads to success. Now you're being successful in your marriage because both of you are making sacrifices.
And that's what we're trying to say when you do a couples trip. It's all about coming together as a team. And there are going to be some times where you don't do what everybody else is doing. You and your spouse may go off and do something else.
And I was going to say, you can't be selfish when you go on a vacation, say like a couples retreat. If it's just the two of you,
couples get away.
If it's just the two of you, you still can't be selfish to do everything you want to do and not maybe what your spouse wants to do. It's the same way if you go with a bunch of other couples on a retreat. Sometimes you have to make that sacrifice and do what another couple wants to do, and then in turn, they'll do what say you like to do. So it's not all about you. You can't be selfish and think you're always going to do what you want to do all the time if you're on a group trip with a bunch of other couples.
Yeah, because I think about on our trip when we were having breakfast, I was just telling James this morning, we both prefer fried eggs, but we had scrambled eggs every morning. We didn't make a big deal about that. We were okay with the scrambled eggs because it's a group. So they want to scramble the eggs. I wasn't going to tell somebody or go get over in the kitchen and make my own. I could have made my own.
But if you have a bunch of couples, you're not going to fry eggs for every individual couple. Or say, I want you. We're going to fry them for you. We're going to scramble them for you. We're going to poach them for you. Then you'll be in there all day. So it was a group thing. That's what we talk about when we make some sacrifices.
Yep.
Some of the little things just don't matter when you're trying to have a great time with a whole bunch of other couples.
That's key, y'all. That's so key what James just said. Some of the little things just don't matter when you're with a group and you want to be a cohesiveness. It's the same thing in your relationship.
That's right.
The little things don't always matter. Don't
focus
on the little things.
Right.
There's a saying about the little things. What is that saying about? Don't sweat the small stuff is what I was trying to think of.
Because if you
your relationship, don't sweat the small stuff.
Because if you start sweating the small stuff, it'll turn into a big thing.
Yes.
And then that's when you lose that connection. That's when you lose that that
romance. Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely. So don't sweat the small stuff, y'all, because when you focus on the small stuff and it irritates you, every little thing
is going to irritate
you. And that's how it builds and builds and builds. Then you have an attitude towards them. Then you start feeling like you don't like them. And then you grow distant.
Right.
I'm telling y'all,
and
that's where it all starts.
If you do that on a vacation, you're not going to have a good time. Then you feel that it was a wasted vacation because you done focused on the small things so much where it built up. Now you're not having a good time. You're mad the whole time. You're not having fun. And now you're feeling, why did I even come on this trip?
Yeah. So what did I learn from going on this couples trip? I learned not to sweat the small stuff. I learned to sometimes just be a team player, go along with the program, learn some new things, some interesting things, do something different that you may not usually do, and just enjoy yourself. Find something to do no matter where you go, what you're doing, to enjoy yourself and have fun.
Even if it's read a book on the beach.
Yep.
So somebody make some comments?
Yeah, so we want to shout out some folks today.
And remember, if you're a black business owner, post your business in the feed.
Morris Bussey Jr. is with us. Morris, post your business in the group.
Right.
You never know who might need
and how they can contact you.
Services, okay?
That's right.
Yeah, post your business in the group. This is a National Black-Owned Business Month. So we are shouting out businesses. Put your business in the group, a link on how people can utilize your business, or phone number, however you want them to reach you. Veronica Washington Ford, I don't know, do you have a business? Hey, if you got a business, shout it out, put it in the group. Jennifer Wright, you got a business, girl, put your business in the group. Put your business, Dana Clark Colors, put it in the group, lady. Darren A. Perez Merchants, Frugal Yet Fly, and I think you have another business. Put your business in the group. See, we're shouting y'all out, but put it in the group how to contact you, because a lot of people watch the replays. So they may watch the replay, say, oh, that name sounds interesting. Oh, I might need some of those. Christmas time is only 3 months away. September, October, November, well, 4 months away, right? So yeah, you never know what people may need, what people may want. Put it in the group. Victoria Quinn Everett, hey, homegirl, that's one of my classmates from high school. Post it in the group if you own a business. If you're watching a replay, post your business in the group. These videos stay on Facebook, on social media forever. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's in our group. So yes, post your business, even if you're watching the replay, so that people can connect with you. So y'all, one thing I've learned as a business owner is that somebody needs what you have.
That's right.
Whatever your skill is, whatever your product is, whatever your service is, somebody needs it. Somebody does. Somebody needs a Dana Clark's Kids Coloring Book, because it teaches you about how not to do bullying. It teaches you about accepting diversity amongst, other people. Somebody needs Frugal Yet Fly. Somebody's looking for this special outfit or something they really need in their home, right? And you could be the person to go shopping for them and help them find it.
Any comments?
Veronica said, hello, business loading. Oh, Veronica, see, I didn't even know you had a business. Load that business, girl. I want to see what it is that you do. And James and I, we love supporting Black businesses. Like, I'm planning to get a new dentist in my local area, even though I love my Black dentist, but I found out his company is not Black owned, but that's okay. I love my Black dentist, but I want a dentist in my local area.
Because we travel to go to this particular
dentist. Pretty far. So we want a local Black-owned
since we moved.
Right? So you guys, we want to thank you guys for jumping on, but we want to make sure we mention to you. You can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We're having our 5th annual event that is just one of our favorite things of the year. It's like super important to us. We've been consistent with doing it every year except last year during COVID. This would have been our 6th year. But we want you to come out to Couples Fest. The things that we were talking about on the couples trip, it applies at Couples Fest. You'll come there, you'll get to meet some other couples, connect with some other couples, see how some of the other couples are interacting at this event, see how they're having fun. You'll get a chance to observe your spouse in a different and new environment. Y'all, we're going to have couples contests. So if you're interested in doing the couples lip sync contest, send us a direct message so we can put you on the list.
And it's a festival and expo.
Yes. So we're going to have vendors specific to things that couples need and want, things you hadn't even thought about doing, like getting your wills done, doing some estate planning. Those types of things will be there.
And I like it because Friday it's about having some fun on Friday, like a live band, some dancing, doing some things like that. Plus, you will still be, like we always say, rekindling that romance because the two of you will be doing stuff together. We have a wedding vow renewal.
Yes.
And I always think that's romantic. That's how you rekindle stuff. Those are the type of things that we're going to be doing during this Couples Fest Expo.
And just so y'all know, Couples Fest is a very fun, fast-paced, interactive event. It's not where you come to a marriage conference
and just sit and listen. You have fun. It's interactive.
Yes. So we have speakers, and every speaker gives something away. And guess what? In between the speakers, we have somebody come up and either do a song or a musical performance or a demonstration. Like we're going to have a couple that shows you how to do hand dancing. We're going to have somebody show you how to do a couple's fitness routine together. I can't even think of all the things. Like we have interactive things going on in between each speaker. So there's going to be something going on all day long. And this show, Breakfast with the Greene, you get to have breakfast with us that Saturday morning. You get to be live with us on Breakfast with the Greene. We're going to make sure we pan the room.
And we're going to be talking and having interactive conversations. And trust me, you'll be on answering the questions, the answers that you post in the feed. You'll be answering them live on Breakfast with the Greenes.
That's right, y'all. So author Lynette say, hey, good morning, Greene family. Charlotte, North Carolina is checking in. DMV for life. Hey, Charlotte. I told you, Lynette, we got some cousins up in that area. I was just looking at their Facebook page yesterday. We just had a big family event in Fayetteville. And they were all my cousins came down from Charlotte. So hey, Lynette, thank you for always checking in. Hey, Justice Gatewood, thank you for checking in. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Go to marriagebuilttolast.com, click on the events link or go to marriagebuilttolast.com/events. Click on that events list and link, and you'll see Couples Fest listed in there. You'll see all kinds of things. But we want you to get registered. I'm telling you, it's going to sell out. So get your tickets to Couples Fest. We want to meet you. We want to see you face to face. And if you can't make it face to face, we are going to have a virtual link that we will share with you later.
Yep.
So thank you guys for joining us. Don't be afraid to go to couples events if you know absolutely no one. Come to Couples Fest. You can meet some people.
And just remember what month this is. You're rekindling that romance. And support a Black-owned business.
Support a Black-owned business. So you support us by buying your ticket to Couples Fest. And if you can't come to Couples Fest, why don't you buy a ticket for someone else to come? I'm sure there's somebody in your circle who really needs to be there just to either have fun, to learn some great information about their relationship.
To rekindle that romance.
Yeah, to rekindle that romance. Because use this as a getaway or a staycation.
You could have fun and
Stay
learn
at
the same time.
Absolutely.
Learning and having fun at the same time.
Absolutely.
All right.
So you guys, we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Continue to enjoy this beautiful weather. Summer's almost over, y'all. It won't take long before it's over. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad about that. But continue to enjoy this beautiful weather. God bless you. And remember, if you build it, it will last.
And see you next time.
See you next time, y'all.
And have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy it.